Well, ladies and gentlemen, the shills are out there in full force, and some of them are not exactly who you would expect, and some of them are exactly who you would expect. And this is exactly that kind of person. We have a former games journalist that is trying to pull an Alyssa Mercante, basically, where they're trying to gaslight gamers into thinking that something is not happening when it absolutely is. When all the evidence is surmounting and it's right in front of your eyes, and you can clearly see what's happening before you, this is the kind of person that's going to tell you there's no way that's happening, and your eyes are lying to you. A former games journalist attempts to gaslight gamers about DEI consultants.
You one crazy ass bitch!
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this has to do with Dragon Age: The Veilguard releasing soon. A lot of people are, have their panties in a twist trying to defend the game, and a lot of people are obviously trying to attack the game, and it's just another culture war battleground. This is what this game has turned into, and that's because the developers decided that that's what they wanted, right? No game turns into a culture war battleground unless the developers say, you know what, that's what we want for this game, because they're the ones that lead with divisive marketing. They're the ones that lead with divisive DEI practices in their video games. They are the ones that are trying to sell superficial diversity as real representation. And at the end of the day, everybody can spell the bullshit from a mile away, and they call it out now, and they don't like it. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It's like 95% of the time always a white woman. I don't know why this is. It just is a thing. Emma Kent, very close to Emily, a former games journalist at Eurogamer who now freelances as a mock reviewer for video game developers, attempted to gaslight gamers on what DEI consultants are doing. In a thread on X, Kent wrote, "Hello, game consultant here. The idea that consultants are forcing diversity into games is ridiculous because 99% of the time, the devs have already decided that they want their game to be inclusive and just want help fine-tuning how certain stories come across. Hope this helps." Now, the amazing thing to me is that when they say 99% of the time the devs have already decided they want to make their games inclusive, they don't actually talk about the fact that they're forced to, right? They're forced to, at this point, try to make this superficial diversity a thing. And here's the most amazing thing about the people who claim to be on the other side, right? What they'll try to do is they'll try to downplay the argument from this side. They'll try to talk about, well, you just don't like women. You just don't like black people. You just don't like whatever, POC. Mind you, a lot of the people talking about it are people of color as well. So, I mean, there's that, right? That entire narrative of, oh, you just don't like XYZ kind of gets thrown out the window when most of the people, or a lot of the people talking about it, are in fact people of color. And then they'll move the goalposts and they'll say, well, there's a self-hating black person. There's a self-hating Hispanic person. That's a thing. So, the only people talking about this who don't like it are just self-hating and they want to be white. Like, they'll just move the goalposts constantly. But the thing is, when it comes to these consultants, it's very obvious that their job is a job that's forced to be there, where now a lot of these studios, especially since they have ESG investments, a lot of them want to get their ESG scores up. They want to get their environmental, social, and governance scores up. That's what it stands for. And by doing that, they hire consultancy firms, and that raises their score for ESG. Even if it's slightly, it still raises their score. There's a lot of things and a lot of actions that a studio can take to raise their score. So they're doing it not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to, or because they actually have to, right? Because there are some ESG investors that require you to quarterly report ESG scoring, and that way they can decide whether or not they're going to impact your funding. This is something that we've known from Larry Fink over on BlackRock. He's openly admitted this on video. If you're unaware of it, you can go watch the video yourself. I've talked about it, in nausea. In a subsequent post, she continued that people peddling this conspiracy theory are fabricating rage bait content to grow their YouTube channels and social media followings. And again, this is kind of like the conversation that I had with Shagsworth, the whole thing of, oh, it's rage bait. Yeah, because clearly it's rage bait to talk about the bad things that are happening in the industry, right? An industry that we actually love, and you're just there because you feel like it's the only way that you can get your message across by being in this particular, section of employment. We actually enjoy the gaming industry. We've enjoyed gaming for decades, or at least me anyway. Unfortunately, I've been around for decades, but still, you, Emma, I highly doubt that you actually play video games in your free time. Let's be real. Aside from maybe a mobile game or something like that, I highly doubt it. But yeah, the whole rage bait thing, it's just an excuse for people that that don't want anybody to talk about the negative, aspects of the industry and criticisms and what we can do to change it and what we can do to make it better. They don't want us talking about it. They want us to just consume. That's what they want. Consume, be happy, eat my shit, and consume. They do not understand how the industry actually works, nor do they care to learn because they are simply seeking engagement. We do know how the industry works. That's the ironic thing. And there are people in the industry that are talking to us and telling us exactly how it is to be in the industry, what it feels like, being in that particular echo chamber. So, yeah, for you to tell us that we don't know, it's ironic as hell. She added the fact that this has been brought up again in reference to Dragon Age the Veilguard is particularly laughable. Have the people throwing these forced DEI allegations around ever actually played a BioWare game? Well, again, we're going to talk about this because this is an excuse that people have with games like BioWare, right? So my thing is that this game has never been woke. BioWare, Dragon Age games have never been woke. Just having gay relationships in a game doesn't make something woke, right? Just like you have gay characters in anime and manga doesn't make it woke, because at the end of the day, they focus on the story first, they focus on the experience first, and the character just so happens to be gay. That's the difference between what they're doing before, or what anime and manga is doing now, and what you guys are doing now, right? You guys are trying to push it as superficially as possible. This is why I talk. It's the superficial diversity that's the biggest issue. It's not diversity for diversity's sake. It's the superficial diversity. It's the, hey, we have black people in this game. You should thank us for that. Oh, we have Hispanic people in this game. We're so amazing because we did that. Look how many XYZ black people, Hispanic people we are hiring because we clearly care. We totally just don't want to hit metrics so that our CEOs can get their bonuses. No, not at all. We actually just care. It's amazing how it took you how many years to say you care when you were doing this forever, right? Like black people being hired, Hispanic people being hired. This has been a thing forever. And yet now you found a way to weaponize it. You found a way to not only weaponize it, but profit off of it. And it's just, it's like you guys don't realize how public information is a thing. You guys don't realize how ESG reporting and whatnot is a thing. We can get all this information we want. You can hide it all you want, but you're not going to be very successful. It's public information. Now, again, to say that, oh, have you ever actually played a BioWare game? Yes, I've played every single fucking BioWare game the moment the game came out. Emma, I highly doubt you did that. Let's be honest here. But even if you did, it's very disingenuous to try to compare the two. To compare the original BioWare games that were diverse because they were diverse organically, to try to compare it to the new shit where it's literal superficial diversity with modern day nonsense that doesn't belong in that fantasy setting of Thetis. It's like, this is the thing, but you are purposely being disingenuous because, let's be real, she's a consultant, right? If she's a consultant, what does that mean? That means she has skin in the game. That means she needs this, right? This is her job. So, of course, she's going to protect her job. It's only obvious. First off, DEI consultants are indeed trying to force diversity into games. Sweet Baby Inc. used to make it very clear that this is what they did. Their website used to state, and again, before they nuked it, our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, more inclusive for everyone. Yeah, that was before they nuked their entire freaking website. So it's very clear that Emma is lying through her freaking teeth. So at the end of the day, man, Emma is one of those people that is going to try to pretend that diversity consultants apparently do nothing, right? It's the only position that I've ever seen in my entire life that they can get hired to do absolutely nothing. And they're getting hired to just fine tune what was already there. Like, if it was already there, why do they need fine tuning, right? I feel like if they were smart enough to come up with whatever diverse character they were able to come up with, they don't need you, right? They only hire you because they feel like they have to. And that way they can blame someone, they can point to someone when something goes wrong with the supposed diversity character hire that they put in there. Look at Miles Morales when you had the freaking Cuban flag when it was supposed to be the Puerto Rican flag. You look at Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Shadows and all the Chinese nonsense is in that game when it's supposed to be Japanese. They can point to you guys and say, well, you guys were the consultants. Why are these things wrong? Instead of taking the blame themselves. At the end of the day, man, Emma is one of these people that is just trying to be another Lisa Mercante, but unfortunately, she's not ratchet enough to come anywhere close. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.